But he's going to look at people and say, depart from me, ye worker of iniquity. I never knew you. And there's some that's going to be shocked. That's going to say, did we not prophesy in your name? Didn't we sing? Didn't we preach? Didn't we do all these mighty works in your name? And he's going to say, I never knew you. Get out of my face. So not only does he tell us what the first day in heaven, he paints a picture. I'm talking about a preview of coming attractions. He paints a picture of your first night in hell. In hell. Notice the rich man lifted up his eyes, being in, watch this, torments, not torment. See, we talk about the flames. We talk about the fire, and that's bad enough, but there's going to be torments. I don't know what they are, but I can imagine the torments I've suffered, the pain I've felt in my body, the stings from bees and wasps and hornets, snake bites. I don't know what all he's got down there, but there's a few things about hell that I don't want any part of, that I want to share with you. I heard the old time preachers used to say, what in hell do you want? And that's a question I want to ask you. What in hell do you want? Because I, my friend, do not want anything that hell has to offer. He lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and said, watch this. He's in a body. It's an immortal body. It's an eternal body, just like the one in heaven. But it's not superhuman like the one I talked about. It's not got super abilities like the one we'll have in heaven. This one's going to get hungry. This one's going to get tired. But there'll be no rest. There'll be no thirst quenched. There'll be no hunger filled. Can you imagine? Some of you about go crazy if you go all day and don't eat. Can you imagine your stomach twisting up in knot? Can you imagine how dry and swelled your tongue is? And the rich man began to cry and said, he didn't ask for a drink. He didn't ask for a glass full. He said, let Lazarus just dip his finger in water and just touch my tongue. He was so tormented. But the fire, the torments, not only that, there's not going to be no love in hell. No friendship in hell. You ain't going to like the company you got in hell. You're going to be there with murderers, rapists. If I was a woman, I wouldn't want to go to hell. All of the scum of the earth that's going to be there. Oh, my Lord. Fear. Can you imagine the fear? The fear that's going to be a constant fear of what's next. Oh, yeah, just when you think it's as bad as it can get, it's going to get worse. I tell you, when I preached on hell the other night, I titled it, It Could Get Worse. Oh, I don't care how bad your life is, sitting here watching me on television. At least you got a TV to watch. At least you got eyes to see me. You got ears to hear me. Oh my Lord, I don't care what you're going through. Divorce, sickness, whatever you're going through, it could get worse. Hell is going to be a whole lot worse. And here's the worst thing. There's no exit. There's no ending. It's not going to end. There's no reprieve. There's no furlough. There's no parole. There's no change in God's mind. Once you're there, you'll stuck, but there's still a chance. There's still an opportunity. Here at almost 6:30 on this Saturday night, all you got to do is lift your eyes to heaven. When the rich man lifted his eyes to heaven, it was too late. But for you, it's not too late. All you got to do is lift your eyes to heaven. And the Bible said, whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. You speak his name. Whoever you are looking at me and listening to me, he's calling out to you. His arms are open wide. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but today. Today is a day of salvation. Don't put it off another moment. Give your life to him. You don't want to go to hell. You want to go to that city whose builder and maker is God. I'm trying to give you a preview of coming attractions, and heaven's the only choice. I said heaven's the only choice. But the worst part of hell, Bible said that Abraham looked at the rich man and said, remember the good things. Think about in hell. See, in heaven, we're not going to remember, because he's going to wipe all tears from our eyes. We're not going to remember the loved ones that didn't make it. That would bring too much sorrow. That would bring too much hurt. But here's the problem with hell. He looked up and he seen what was going on in heaven. He remembered every sermon that he heard. He remembered. You're going to remember looking at that television set. You're going to remember being logged on the internet. You're going to remember driving down the highway, listening to this little preacher on the radio and this sermon that I gave. You're going to remember every chance and every opportunity that you could have missed that place, that you could have avoided that place. But as I close, and I know my time is almost up, I'm glad that I canceled my reservation for that a long time ago. I'm glad that Rodney that you seen a few minutes ago on his way to hell, he canceled his reservations because he didn't like the accommodations. Oh, but I'm glad I moved my reservation to a place where the walls are pure jasper, where the streets are pure gold, where the Lamb is the light of that city. And I, John, saw that New Jerusalem, that holy city coming down from God out of heaven as a bride adorned for her husband. There's going to be a new heaven. There's going to be a new earth. And I made up my mind, come what may, I'm going to be a part of it. So even when I'm kicking and I'm swimming, like that woman I spoke about at the beginning, even when my arms are getting tired and the fog is so dense that I cannot see, I remember, hallelujah, that I'm on my last mile. I'm on my last leg. If I can just hold on a little bit longer, the shore is just ahead.